everyone, it's Natalia, and today we're going to be making these same nails that I'm wearing right here, but in green for one of my friends. So let's go! So we're going to be using just a few things. I have this jade colored Born Pretty gel here. That's going to be the base color. It's such a nice color that I got to make just some like marbled jade nails, and I absolutely love it. We're also going to be using my favorite Born Pretty white magnetic Cateye Gel. It's so nice. It's called white, but it's kind of gray, but you know what, it's silver gray. We're also going to be using this Jinbei pink reflective glitter. Love this stuff. I have the whole set that this came in. And just like last week, we are also going to be using the Nail and Yali palette here, and we're going to be using number 2, or like the light green, to make an ombre and an aura. We're also going to be using some clear solid nail gel glue and the Jinbei Crazy Top, because I still have not gotten any rhinestone glue yet. And we're going to be using some rhinestones. These ones I just got like a random pack of them, so I couldn't tell you where they're from. And then these are just some other little matching ones and some silver caviar beads that I got on AliExpress. So that's what we're going to be using today. Not a lot of stuff, so let's get going. So I'm making these for my friend. So I'm sizing out her tips in some short coffins right now. Normally I use soft gel brand, but I'm out of short coffins, so I'm just using some cheapo Unagella ones. The reason I'm making her these nails is we have like a nail Discord channel that's just like 5 of us. Like, we're just some friends who love nails that I make nails for, and we show off what nails that we're wearing all the time. And I had made these nails for myself in like a gray color, and I said, yeah, these were really fun, and I've got some like more rhinestones if anyone wants them. So one of them said, I do. So as always, we just gotta prep these tips by filing off the little nubbin at the top. Easy peasy. These ones, the coffins were fairly clean, like they were pretty easy to do. Very impressed. Usually I have to file a bit more. And then of course we are going to grab a buffer and we're going to buff the tops of all of these nails. You want to get rid of any shiny bit so that you can just paint directly on them and the gel will adhere. You can only do this with either soft gel nails. If you're using like acrylic or plastic nails, you do have to use a base coat. But for soft gel nails, you can just buff, wipe with some alcohol, and you are good to go with your base color. Make sure to buff really, really well. You don't want any shiny bit left over. You can pretty much use any buffing block you want. These nails are on the real simple side. Like, literally anyone can make these nails if you have some rhinestones in whatever color you want. And then we're going to take some alcohol. We're going to wipe off the top and we can get into painting. I wanted to like not just do like complicated nails that required like a lot of steps on this channel when I started making this. I also wanted to do some simple ones so that, you know, people can make stuff. So let's get to painting. But before that, let's put on some gloves. You don't want to get any gel allergies from getting, you know, uncured gel on yourself. So even if like a product says like is safe, just wear gloves. Trust me. Like, could be bad. Put some gloves. So with the base color, as I said, we're going to be using the Born Pretty JN34, which is this like really nice like jade green color. Sort of a little bit more on the cool tone green. I love it. I've used, like, if I could buy like just like a giant bottle of it, I would. Or if anyone knows of any, like, you know, like Korean brands or whatever that's just almost this exact same color, please let me know. I'm always searching. I love like Jade colors. Ooh, I love them. So you're gonna be doing like a nice thin coat, because we're gonna be doing 2 coats for this one. Just painting it on a nice thin situation. So we're going to stick these in for a full cure, which is 1 minute if you're using LED. And I'm not sure what it would be if you have a UV thing, but follow the directions on your lamp. But we're putting in for a full cure, 60 seconds. And then we're going in for a second coat because we want it to be opaque. Okay, let's put that in for another full cure, and we can start in with the ombre. So we're using this light green. On the ones I did for myself, I used like a grayish blue as the base and then did black, but I'm sort of mixing it up with this one. We're going to go with the light green, and we're just going to do sort of like a auras and ombres. So some nails, I'll be going around the edges with it. Some nails will be doing an aura right in the center, and some will be doing an ombre from either the top or the bottom. Just mix it up however you want. This is like, you know, it doesn't need to be exactly perfect. These nails are sort of free form, really easy to do. If you prefer airbrush, you can use an airbrush for this. You can do like ombre, a lighter green gel in. It's just, I've got this palette now, and you know, you can check out last week's video of me testing it out, and I really like it, so I decided to use it, and the colors worked for what I wanted to do. This one we're going to tip down ombre. And the way I'm doing this is I do like the full ombre at the top. As you can see, I messed up a little. Just, you can wipe it away with alcohol. As I do like full down, and then I turn the sponge on its side to feather out the edges. You see me turning it on its side to feather out the edges to make it a bit more of a smoother, you know, smoother ombre. And that works. I'm by no means an ombre expert, but this works really well for me. So try it out. And this tool I got on AliExpress, but the sponges are just dollar store makeup sponges that I cut into little cubes. Let's see, we're doing an aura on this one. Again, turning on the side to feather out the edges. Do from the bottom. And then feathering out the edges again. And if it doesn't look good, you can always just wipe it off and try it again. Which is the best part about doing gel nails like this, is that you can just try it again. I mess up a lot all the time. And then feather it out. We're doing from tip down again. And then we're going to put that in for a full cure. Once I'm happy, I decided it was a little light on this one, so I went back in. Okay, let's send that for a full cure. Next, we're going to be doing Cateye over it. So the way I'm doing this is I'm putting the white Cateye, which is more like a silver Cateye, over everything. And then I'm going to be using the magnet to push the magnetic effect over the lighter parts. So where we ombrade is where the magnets are going to be focused. So here I'm activating it, and then I'm going to take it after I've activated it and sort of push them towards, as you can see, you push it towards the, wherever you've just ombre'd is where you're going to push these magnets to. So I want the reflection to be over the lighter parts. And then once you're happy with that, you want to flash cure it. You just need to flash cure it for like 5 to 10 seconds, just so it doesn't, the magnets don't move while you're doing the rest of them. So you put it over the whole thing. This will, like with this particular one, it will make the colors like a bit more desaturated looking, but it does, they look very nice still. And as you see, just pushing the magnetization towards the ombre. Flash cure for a few seconds so that the magnets freeze frozen in place. And continue on to the next one. These, I can't really reflect like with these ones on video. Like they look so much nicer in person, and they're so fancy for no reason. I love it. Right now we're doing, so with this, what I was just doing was I was taking the magnet and pulling it in a circle around so that it's centering the magnetization in the center for the aura nail. It makes sort of like a, I think I've heard it called like a following lights effect. It looks really cool. Again, these look so cool in person. Like I wish that on camera it looked half as cool as it looks when they're on your hands. Flash cure that into place. There we go. Sometimes I just sort of like keep moving around until it just, you just do it until it looks funky to your eyes. And if you need to reset, just paint over it again and start again. All right, so you fully cure that. And now I'm just added in some like reflective glitter for just a little bit of extra shine. For this one, since I used pink gems as like accent gems, I went in with pink glitter on a sponge, and I just sort of am sponging it on the edges, sort of over where the magnetization is, to add just sort of a little extra flash of glitz. I wanted them to be very sort of mesmerizing to look at, was my real goal with these. And I like to think I succeeded on this one. I'm like, as I finish them, since I made mine in sort of like monochromatic, I was finishing up the green for my friend, and I was like, oh, I should have done mine in the green. Looks really nice. But mine still look nice in the black and white. It's fine. All right, let's put those in for a full cure, and we're ready to put gems on. So to put the big gems on, I'm going to put them on the thumb and the ring finger here. So we're going to be using this like solid nail glue. To get it out of the container, I just use like this little plastic cuticle pusher thing. It works really well. I've linked this one down in the bottom. This isn't my favorite type. I used to have like a Born Pretty one that worked really well, and I'm hoping to get some of the Chrysania Neri clear clay from Sweetie Nail Supply soon, but this one worked absolutely fine for my purposes, which is affixing these giant things on. So you're gonna take out a little bit and roll it in a ball, and then you can pat it into place using the cuticle pusher or a silicone tool, but this one doesn't really stick to the cuticle pusher that much, so use that. Metal tools work really well with this, with the solid nail glue as well. Pulling some cat hairs off because I have a long-haired cat, and alas, that is my constant situation. So I'm grabbing one of the big gems, and I'm just sort of sticking it on. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And you just push it into place. Now, I was going to put like another one of these bigger silver ones on with it, but it was like, I realized it was just like a little too big, and I didn't want to put 2 of the pink. So I jumped into I have drawers on my nail desk, and one of them is just full of random nail charms. The struggle is real sometimes. Boop. Okay. Here's me realizing, oh no, that's gonna look way too big. So we're just gonna pull that off. And then we're just gonna go into my drawer. And these ones were too small. I wasn't actually intending to use this other set that I just pulled out here, but here we go. I pulled one out. These are just like some cheapo AB rhinestones that I got on AliExpress. And I'm just gonna stick that on. And then you just sort of push it into the solid gel. I'm gonna stick a few caviar beads in there. You're making just sort of like a little cluster, just sort of a freeform cluster. I used to have a lot of trouble like wearing big gems like this, but I've gotten so used to it that it doesn't even register anymore. But the first couple times I wore gems that had nails that had these huge like gem clusters, I was like so conscious of them, but now I don't even notice it happening. So you want to flash cure those in place once you have the gems pushed in the way you like it. And then I'm going to take some Jinbei Crazy Top Thick, because I still have not bought rhinestone glue. It's on my list the next time I make a big order. So I'm going to grab some of this, and we're just going to put like a little line of it using a liner brush, because we're going to stick some smaller gems along the top edge of the nail here. So for this one, I thought I find pink and green go so nice together. So I'm mixing like pink and clear little mini crystals on here and little mini rhinestones, and then some very small little caviar beads, silver ones. And it just looks so nice. You just sort of put them on. They don't need to look sort of perfectly symmetrical or perfectly placed. I was doing them with sort of a, it's not quite haphazard. Like, they do follow like a line, but they don't need to be, like a perfect gem cluster. You just sort of want them to be sort of scattered, I think is the word I'm looking for here. And then once you have them placed the way that you like, moving them around a little, you want to flash cure after every one of these that you do, so that, and always cover up your product. And then you want to flash cure so that they don't move while you do the rest of the nails. So you don't have to stick them individually under each one. So let's just quickly put some, again, with the big ol' gem clusters on the accent nails, which I picked thumb and ring for this one. I'm mixing the silver and the AB crystals with the pink. And I have no, like, when I started this, I didn't really have, they're not exactly the same as the ones I did for myself, because, as I said, these big gems, I don't even remember where I got them. It was just like a big mixed pack of, like, random large craft gems, and they work very nicely for this, but none of them match. They're all different sizes, different colors. So it's a good way to, like, these sorts of nails, if you have, like, a bunch of, non-matching, rhinestones, like big ones, it's a good way to sort of clear out your space of them. And then for the rest of the nails, we're just going to be doing small scattered gem clusters. I like to go in sort of like semicircles, because I find that semicircles look nice, and I'm sort of following the lines of the ombres that I did, just for, so it's, but not perfectly. Like, these can have a bit of an asymmetrical vibe to them, and they look really nice. Putting in some caviar beads. And just flash curing as soon as you have it the way that you like. Just pick her up, stick her on, move it around. I like these. These are just some nail brushes that I got on AliExpress like 2 years ago, and the backs of them are like pointed, and I find that so useful for moving things around, but if you don't have one, you can just use a cuticle pusher or a rhinestone picker or tweezers to move things around. It works super easily. And even though, as I said, the Jinbei Crazy Top Thick isn't really meant for rhinestone glue, it does work for these smaller, like, rhinestones and crystals. Just putting on whatever looks nice, and then when you have every nail done, stick it under the lamp for a full cure. And now we just got a top coat. So I'm again using the Jinbei Crazy Top, but this time I'm using the soft. Now, some people coat rhinestones, some don't. With these ones, I coated the small ones because I didn't find that really ruined, especially with the soft, which is a very low viscosity top coat. It really doesn't change the shape that much. I just want to make sure everything, and I needed the little ones, I didn't want them to pop off. And in the big ones, what I did was I would sort of slide on a lot of the top coat around the edges without fully covering it, so that I can be sure that it is securing it even more, since I did not actually have real rhinestone glue. So you can see here I'm putting it underneath like the edges. This also helps to seal up any edges so that none of them get like stuck in hair or caught on things like clothing. You want to make sure that there's no like super overhangs to really cause you problems. And the soft works really nicely for that because it really like self-levels out into whatever space it's in. The standards would be okay for this too, but I really like the soft for this because of the fact that it will just flow into all of those edges. And if you get any on top of the rhinestones, you can just wipe it off with a lint-free wipe or, you know, a Q-tip of some sort. Then I'm putting it around the edges as well. See, I put a little bit on top and then I'm just wiping, basically dry wiping it off with the brush. And then you just coat every nail like that. I really love a potted top coat. This is a personal situation, but I like seeing how much I have left really easily. And as you can see, I am running also very low on the Jinbei Crazy Top Soft. So the next time I make a big nail order, you better believe it's going to be this and some rhinestone glue at the very least. So again, with the same big ones, you want to coat over into all the gaps to make sure that it's all nicely coated. Because you do not want anything getting caught under those rhinestones and ripping them off. That's for sure. And then make sure you get all the edges, cap the tops. And once you're happy with that, especially with the low viscosity, you want to take it and you want to turn it upside down so that any that has perhaps pooled towards the edges will go back towards the apex of the nail. And then once you're happy with how it looks, double check it and then stick it in for a full cure. And that's the whole set of nails. These nails are so beautiful. You can't stop looking at them. And I find that even though they're very simple to make, they're a good way to practice with ombre and practice with using magnetic gel and just basically working on some basic techniques, and you get some beautiful nails at the end of the day. So anyway, thank you for hanging out with me. Let me know if you made these nails. And as always, as the YouTube algorithm requires, please like and subscribe, and I'll be back next week with a new nail video for you. All right, bye.